Yo, what up, people? It's your boy, the Laugh King, coming at you with a quick video. And I want to do a quick breakdown of some NBA 2K 5v5 gameplay. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know I like to play 5 on 5 offline. And I think the best person to watch is Kevin Cruz. He went to Community Day, and he basically breaks down a lot of the 1v1 dribblings and stuff like that. So go ahead and follow him, Kevin Cruz, on YouTube. He's very technical. He breaks down a lot of things, and he basically gives his honest opinion about the gameplay. And from what I was watching for the last maybe 2 hours of gameplay, hour and a half or whatever, I pretty much came to the same conclusion as him, and he actually played the game. But I'll give my final thoughts after the video. All right, let's get to the video.
5-on-5. What was the 5-on-5 experience like? First, spacing felt really good. There were still oddities, of course, where sometimes I needed to call for a screen or call for an ISO to get some guys.
See, when the game is at a standstill, like I think it looks real good. It's when you try to play the 5v5 game. That's to me that's why I feel where the game needs more work.
That were crowding me in my space a little bit too much. But in general, you'll see a lot of really great spacing, especially for the AI and for you as well. Again, there are some oddities where, depending on where I want to go to the floor, sometimes certain actions wouldn't activate. But spacing was great, and I think a lot was made of the spacing engine in 25, that much better in 26. Especially when you go up against the AI, and as you're seeing these clips, the AI is really good at spacing the floor, getting people in different spots and reacting accordingly. So the next thing about the AI is, yes, the AI is able to cook you based on reads. So now, for example, if I go under a screen, the AI won't hesitate to pull up, and at least in my playtest, make a fair amount of those dare shots. The AI is good at recognizing in certain situations where you're cheating off ball, and therefore just give an easy hook pass to the cutting defender, for example. Or once again, the improvements to the drive and kick system for the AI is something that's going to be punishing if you're a little bit lazy on defense and you like to cheat off of those corners. For example, I've been burned multiple times as a result of the combination of the overhelp and help defense, and at the same time the improvements in the drive and kick system. I also saw the AI run plays and use freelances, although I think the 4 out 1 in freelance was used a little bit too much, but I wasn't paying too close of an attention. The AI would frequently call sets, and when things broke down, things flowed a little bit more naturally compared to previous 2Ks. I don't think there were too many improvements in the playbook. I did not run too many plays. I think I only ran a few plays with the Warriors. Most of my gameplay was on ISO, but I think the playbook stayed mostly intact. They were updating it way up to 2K25's end cycle, so I think that we still
They said you can have up to 80 plays. So
should have a relatively fresh playbook based on those latest additions from 2K25. I think one thing you'll also notice in general is that pro play is more apparent, not just in your shot creation moves, for example. There are a ton of new animations that, you know, if you don't really pay too close attention, you'll take some of those animations for granted, anything from rebounding to passing. And just a quick note on passing, I think passes feel way smoother. Um, Jump passes are not the way to go. I saw a few fumble catches, but in general, I think passing is pretty good. I need to test this in multiplayer modes or in rec, for example, but passing felt snappy, new pass animations felt good, but this is something I'll need to look at more closely. So in general,
it's basically the pass speed and the pass ratings, I guess. I don't think it's that much different compared to previous 2Ks, especially the last maybe since 21. But I don't know. Maybe I have to play the game and get a feel for myself. But to me, the passing still looks the same. It's kind of fast. Uh, I think when you have the passing fast, it takes a lot to get into the animation for the person that's receiving the pass. So that's something that you could probably tweak, like if you play offline.
I think 2K26 is the natural evolution from 2K25, Perhaps combined with a lot of player feedback.
Hold on, let me see that. What was that?
Perhaps combined with a lot of player feedback, which a lot of your I think 2K26 is the natural evolution from 2K25.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see the menu. Yeah, so it's about the same.
Perhaps combined with a lot of player feedback, which a lot of your complaints in theory should be addressed. But 2K26 feels really good. My concerns are on the defensive end of the floor. Uh, the body up system feels great when it works, but once again, the ability of people to break out of those body bumps and launch out of them quickly is something that I want to take a look at more closely. The help defense needs some work. I think the shot contest system is inconsistent, if not a little bit too forgiving. And by too forgiving, I mean that, even if you're a distance away, some contests still register. But I think that's a product of gameplay balance. Overall, the game feel balance. But I think that's a product of.
Oh, so he was playing on Hall of Fame. At first, I thought he was playing on like Pro or something. But if it's on Hall of Fame and the game moves that way, it might be easy to tweak on Hall of Fame. Normally, you have to knock it down to like Superstar.
Gameplay balance. Overall, the game feels fast. The combos feel more responsive. The return of some dribble moves that were removed in past 2Ks is a welcome sight. And the way you can combo out of them and chain things together with an increasingly impressive cancel system combined with more shot creation animations, I think makes 2K26 the 2K that most people wanted out of 25. I did enjoy 25, I'll stand by that, but I think recognizing what a lot of people want out of their 2K, I think 2K26 addresses a lot of those concerns. It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out because, you know, if there was a 2K that people could break, it might be this one. The new motion engine, I think, is something that you feel rather than you see. But in general, foot planting has been, more or less intuitive. But overall, I only had roughly 8 hours with the game, 8, 9 hours with the game. Not enough to make any sort of reasonable judgment. And certainly because I was playing against the AI and not in a non controlled environment where I was playing against.
I think 8 9 hours is a. You can tell how the game plays. I think after an hour, 2 hours with playing 2K, you should be able to understand how the game plays. Especially if you've been playing 2K for a long time. Like I can play the game for half an hour and already know what I would need to fix in this game. So, but it's like I said, they're not playing the final build of the game, but what they're playing is very close to the final build. So, like he said, he had issue with the defense, and the only way, and I said this in one of my previous videos, the only way that you can make defense relevant in NBA 2K is you got to buff the defense. If you're going to make the offense crazy with all the dribbling and stuff, like you need to be able to have more control on what you're able to do to the offensive player on the defensive end. And I made a suggestion a long time ago, especially around the time when NBA Live, when I was giving NBA Live feedback and stuff like that, that FIFA or EAFC, they basically have a button where you can actually hand check and do all kinds of stuff. You should be able to do that in 2K. Like if you're gonna make the offense this overpowered, especially like I saw the tweet yesterday where the guy was like, "R.I.P. Sim Nation," and I kind of agree that Sim Nation kind of needs to take a step back for the game to kind of progress in terms of flow and overall gameplay. Like Sim Nation's always gonna be part of 2K, so it's not really going anywhere. But in order to open up the game, like you have to have more. You have to give the players more control on things that they can do. So if you're gonna make the dribbling crazy OP. Like if you watch some of these dribbling clips, like they're going off with these dribbling clips. Like it's crazy. Like you need to be able to counter that on the defensive end, and you need to have more tools, more button controls to actually slow down the offense. Like you should be able to just get up on a player and bump him off his dribble moves. Like because the way you can just like float on the perimeter by dribbling the ball, especially with Kevin Durant. Like, say if you play online, you got a Kevin Durant build. Like, they're not gonna be able to stop you because there's literally nothing you can do, right? So there needs to be more control on the defensive end on how you can dictate the the ball handler, because the ball handler is supposed to react to what the defense gives, not the other way around. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest issues with 2K26. But they really need to buff they need to buff the movement on defense, and they need to give way more control on what you can do with your hands on defense. And I think once 2K figures out how to do that, like the balance between offense and defense would be, I think it will be balanced. But you really need to have some kind of balance between the two, because this year is just going to be, if you have a defensive build and you play online, you're going to get cooked, right? So let's finish up. Let's see what rest of the stuff he has to say.
Against, online players who know the meta and who already broke the game down. It's tough to say for sure, but I think this is a 2K, at least in the early stages, where a lot of people will be happy with whether the defense holds up and whether the game doesn't break in terms of, because of the flexibility the game
the
allows,
game's going to break.
especially with
100%.
the way builds are,
Imagine
being marketed as now being more flexible than ever in their courtside report with your cap breakers. I'm wondering if the gameplay holds up when they decide to break things in my team and in my career. But so far, my play now tests have gone great. I think this is the 2K that people wanted out of 25, a faster, more responsive, more fun.
I would say this because the clips he was showing was all Hall of Fame. So if you knock it down, the game might be a bit more open anyway. So that's something I'm actually going to test when I get the game.
For most people, 2K, including me, I had a lot of fun in 2K26. A lot of people think that as a sim player, I don't want faster, more responsive gameplay. I think that's something that we unanimously can say that we all want.
Yeah.
I just found a way to work around it in 2K25 because of the cancel system and, finding the right animations. But I think you don't have to find those animations in 26 as much as you did in 25. But there you go. Those are my gameplay impressions for NBA 2K26. Once again, thank you to Evan and the NBA 2K team for flying me out. Can't thank you guys enough for helping me stay relevant as a voice for 2K. Want to also shout out Wayne Nang from 2K Singapore previously, who's now working in NBA Asia. He was a big part in helping me out in the last community day, but also creating content. But lastly, I'd also want to thank everyone that I met there in community day.
Yeah, so you can tell he's very genuine with the stuff he's saying. So he's not trying to sugarcoat nothing. He's just trying to give his honest opinion. And, you have to respect him for it. I did watch his videos last year, and I had a lot of insight. And he kind of showed me how to kind of, be better with the dribbling and stuff like that in 2K. But yeah, I'm going to keep it at that. I'm actually going to get the game on next Friday, the 29th. I'm probably going to pre-order it right now. I might just get it for Steam first, and then I'll get it for Xbox later, because to me it's easier for me to make content with the way my current setup is if I have the game on PC. So I could probably put videos out much quicker. I'm probably going to put out raw footage of me actually messing with the game, just so you guys can see how it is when I play the game. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Didn't want this video to be too long, but a lot of y'all are looking for my honest opinion and feedback from the game. So I think Kevin Cruz is one of the best people to watch in this case. So shout out to Kevin Cruz. You guys can go follow him and like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. All right, I'm out. Peace.
frozen space.